Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me. This is RJ's Cave, and this time around, I wanted to deal with the 800-pound gorilla in the room. You know what I mean? I took a couple of days, let everybody else on YouTube do their thing because I'm kind of new to this guitar community here on YouTube, so I didn't want to mess around. But Eddie Van Halen, he affected everybody, so I kind of felt like I should still do something. So, it just he was a if you weren't around when somebody like that happens, explodes onto the scene, then you don't know their impact. You really can't understand. Like when Hendrix came around, you got to take a look at the stuff that was on the charts before he broke, and see the difference in his music compared to everything else that's on the charts with him at the time that he's around, to really start to get an understanding. And that's the way it is with Eddie. But Eddie was not just like Hendrix in that way because of his guitar playing. He was like Les Paul too, right? Les Paul, he helped create the solid bioelectric guitar, and he helped with create 4-track recording and all these other things that had to do with the music he was doing. So that's what Eddie did. I mean, before Eddie, there was no real secondary market for parts for guitars. There was a couple of guys in California. That was about the entire business, And then he comes along with. I mean, if the way I heard the story was that the day they got seen by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, who were credited with breaking them. The Frankenstrat was still wet. The paint was still wet on it when that day, and he had just finished assembling it that day for the show. Right? I don't know how true that is, because you know how these stories, over time, they change. And based on how I heard it, that kind of thing fuels an industry. That's basically what happened there. He built that on a boogie body with a pickup out of an old Gibson guitar, and he had painted it with spray paint, and it became an icon, and started a whole industry. Helped start a whole industry. It was it exploded. I mean, when Kramer Guitars, all these different guitar companies out of California that exploded because of him, and pickup making companies, and you name it. Amps. The 5150. Wow. I mean, come on. The 5150 is one of those iconic amps, right? So then that was him. Right? The fact that we use gain now in a whole new way. Before him, gain was something amp makers were trying to avoid because they thought it was noisy. So he's just changed. He's had an effect on everything. Right? If you look at what was on the charts right around the time that Van Halen broke, there's nobody playing anything like him. And now you look at the guitar players that are out there, everybody does things like finger tapping, which he was which he helped start. I mean, he's the one who popularized it for sure. I'm not gonna argue with people about he was the first or whatever. I've heard different stories here and there about that. So if you want to let me know more, you can absolutely let me know in the comments. All right. So please do. Please do. I want to know more about more details. I want to know your stories. one of the biggest things though, after with all this, is that we lost a guy who was really, really just a really nice guy on top of everything. I mean, he was a nice guy. He was a billionaire. He was a friggin' he was a guitar player, and he could hang with anybody, like any amp nerd. You know what I mean? He was such a well-rounded guy. Like, you got to check out the story. I'm not good at this, and it's not my story to tell, but so I'll just touch on it. Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, big fan of Eddie Van Halen, like most guitar players, right? So gets to meet him, and it's like not long before he ended up passing himself. And among the conversations, they ended up becoming friends. And among the conversations they have is about the black and yellow Bumblebee guitar that Eddie's playing on the back of one of the Van Halen albums. And he said that was the most badass one. And he asked him to make him one, right? Because I mean, Eddie's got his own guitar company. So he asked him if he would make him a replica. He asked, Dimebag Darrell asked Eddie Van Halen, could you make me a replica of that guitar? He said, absolutely no problem, but kind of, things happened, so the guitar didn't get built, and then Dime passes. And they asked, he calls up, he asks what he can do, and they asked him for the replica. So word is that he didn't show up with the replica. He gave him the one from that album cover. And that guitar is now resting with Dimebag Darrell in a Kiss casket in his final resting place. So that's an iconic instrument. That's a industry-changing instrument, and he just put it with somebody because they loved it that much, and him that much. So that's pretty freaking generous, you know what I'm saying? So, guys, remember, we're on this journey. This music journey is a magic quest as well, right? Because we could change people's lives with an instant just by playing the right song at the right time. So go out there, get motivated, learn how to play guitar, learn how to do music. Because when you're doing music, you really are making magic. If you want to see more stuff, what's going on the channel, please, by all means, I got a box right here, and here. You click, have fun, please do. Remember, when you click on any of these boxes, you're helping to feed a guitar player, that being me. Don't forget to please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell while you're at it. Share and comment as well, please, guys. All that stuff really does help. And I'll see you next time, all right? This has been RJ's Cave. Thanks, guys. Take care. Eddie Van Halen, thanks for everything. Rest in peace.